Here we are. I'm going to try and do this again. I did it last night, but I had made a few changes, and I think I've made it a little better. So let's see. I want to talk about Lambda Expressions in Java 8, and basically, say I have, um, a list of doubles, which I have down here. I have a list of doubles that I just get out, and I want to sort it. And one of the cool things you can do with lists is you can say, list sort, and then you can pass in a, you know, comparator that can implement the sort for you. Well, I could do a thing called a silly sort, which really just kind of sorts them randomly based on whether or not the current, millisecond is even or odd. That'd be kind of a silly way of doing it, but you can do that, right? So, what you often will find is you'll create a new instance of a concrete class that implements that comparable, but you know that creates more code and all that kind of thing. So you might just want to do an anonymous class, right? Like I have here. So I have a new comparator of double, and then basically that takes two doubles, and you know we compare them. And I right now I'm just calling through to the double compare method. Okay, simple enough. So what is a lambda expression, going to buy for us? Well, basically, a lambda expression is going to basically allow us to implement the anonymous class without actually defining a class. So basically, the syntax kind of looks like this. So we have our double sort, and then basically you see two sets of parentheses, and then you see arguments, just kind of like the way we have our arguments to our compare method here. That's essentially what these are. So we know that this is a reference to a method that's going to take two arguments, and then it's going to basically return compare d1 and d2. So what happens is that the sort method is going to go through and give this bit of code here two of the doubles in the list, and it's going to tell us which one of them is less than the other one, right? And it just keeps on doing that until the whole thing is sorted. So I basically have gotten rid of some code because now I don't need this override in the public int and all that stuff. It's a little more compact. But we can actually even make it a little more compact, and the reason why is that basically we know that this is a list of doubles, so we can only sort doubles. So we know that these two parameters here have to be doubles, so you don't have to specify the types. You can just put variable names and then call through and return it the same way. But we can even do better. We can actually omit the return because it's understood, and you can do this if you're inside your lambda expression. You're just having one line. So if you just have just a one-line lambda expression, you can do that. Also, you can leave out the braces. So you'll notice there are no braces here. So I have my two arguments, and I call through, and I just say double compare. It turns out there's also a comparator class that will actually, has all kinds of different ways of building comparators. And one of the methods is this one called comparing double. And basically what it takes is something, basically the idea of this method is that you give it a, something that implements an interface. So it gives you each object from, the list, and then you return the thing that should be used to compare it on. And so basically, since this is just a list of doubles, we just want to, basically return the item itself. So kind of a roundabout way of comparing doubles. And then the last one, which is not technically a lambda expression, but it's a different thing called a method reference. And I'll probably do another presentation at some point about method references. But basically, in our lambda expression, we're passing in a comparator that all it really does is call through to double compare. And what you'll notice is that the basically the method that we're implementing with our interface, our lambda expression, it returns an int, and it takes two doubles, right? Well, it turns out that if you want to implement a lambda expression, or an interface that has a signature that matches a method that already exists, you can basically just refer to that method, right? So that instead of creating a method that takes two arguments and then calls through to another method that takes two arguments and just returns the same result, you can just point it directly at that other method. So that's what a method reference is. So in a nutshell, that is what a lambda expression is. So definitely give me some feedback, click subscribe, and thank you very much. Okay.